Rugby Live Season 3 Episode 2. Selamat pagi, selamat tengah hari, selamat petang, good morning, good evening, good afternoon to everyone wherever you are in the world. And right now in Malaysia, it's obviously at night. It's about 8 o'clock, and we would like to thank you for joining us on Asia Rugby Live. And of course, we're going to have some, I would say, fruitful conversation with our panelists today, which is going to talk about match officiating. And of course, joining in today, we have three special guests again from all over the world. First of all, we have Mr. Dilroy Fernando from Sri Lanka, who is the training and education consultant in Sri Lanka. Christabelle Lim, who is just a stone throw away from me, but so near yet so far, I can't see her anyway. I can't cross borders. She's in Singapore, who is also a match official, and all the way from Spain, representing World Rugby, who is the referee talent development manager, Alhambra, Nievas. Welcome, guys. Thank you very much for joining us to share your views, to share your thoughts, and to share whatever you can share with our audience today. And talking about, becoming a match official, a few days ago, we got in Malaysia especially, and I think it affected the Asia rugby scene as a whole, because this guy, the late Maniam Krishnan, who is like a father figure to a lot of people, to a lot of referees out there, he has a lot of students. He's a former teacher, used to play the game, used to ref the game in Malaysia, and before he passed away, he was a known CMO, coach, match official throughout Asia. He worked with a lot of people, including Mr. Dilroy himself. And I think we miss him dearly, and it's a huge loss to Asia Rugby. Let's watch a tribute for Mr. Madhyam Krishnan. And with that, let's have a moment of silence to remember the late Mr. Madhyam Krishnan. Thank you very much for that. And again, talking about Mr. Maniam Krishnan, one of the early memories I had with him was back in 2013 when we were in Brunei, and that time we were covering a game in Brunei, one of the Asia Five Nations tournament. And that time he was sitting beside me, and I was commenting on how the ref was officiating the game, and he was encouraging me. He was saying, "Hey, your views are really good. I want you to become a CMO someday." And probably, hopefully, because of what he said, I'm actually inspired to become a match official, coach match official probably someday. And probably Mr. Dilroy, because you are the consultant for training and education, you can take me through on how can I become a match official and probably one day become a CMO.
Yeah, definitely. Again, first of all, I must thank you for mentioning about late Maniam Krishnan, who was, as you said, a father figure and a good friend for Asia Rugby. Maniam has been a CMO when I was refereeing, and also after that we were both on the CMO panel. So it's a sad day for us when Maniam passed away, and a big loss for Asia Rugby. Well, to become a referee, lots of people think, Rod, it's difficult, but to me, it is not difficult to become a match official. It's very simple. All you need is basically common sense and also passion for the game of rugby football and a little bit of interest. But if you have passion and the interest towards the game, and then with a little bit of commitment, the sky's the limit. You can definitely, start at a lower level and go up in the ladder within a space of 4 to 5 years. So my experience, when I stopped refereeing, when I stopped playing at a young age after representing the national team, I was refereeing my college, all the junior games, under 12, 14, 16, all the junior games. Without reading the law book, I was refereeing through experience. And then I was also refereeing any tag rugby or touch rugby. It's basically you need to do more and more matches at any level, at junior level, and then later on, if you really like to referee, then you have the World Rugby courses, which you could do online courses as well as the level ones, the level two, level three courses. Level three, of course, at the top end, and these are all available on World Rugby Passport. I'm sure towards the latter part of the program, this will be explained. So the key there is at any level, if you want to become match official, it's management. At lower level or higher level, it's a game management. And very soon, the Asia Rugby will be rolling in a new program, which we have already done, pre-level 1 match officiating course. So it's level 1 is the first World Rugby one, and pre-level 1. So anybody could log in. This will be available for all the Asia countries, and it will be available on Asia Rugby FB and also on the internet, on the website, and people could apply and then follow the program. So it's not difficult to become a match official. All you need is, again, as I said before, a little bit of interest, commitment, and passion towards the game.
Passion, just like you, Mr. Dilroy. And probably, Christabelle, you can tell me if do you need a rugby playing experience to become a match official?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Rod. Well, my short answer is no. Anyone who's up for a challenge can be a match official. You only need passion for the game, as Dilroy mentioned, and the rest can be learned. And the long answer, well, I share a bit of my journey into refereeing. I played for Singapore for 9 years in 7s and 15s. And in that time, I got to play various Asian tournaments in the region, the Asian Rugby 7 Series, a three-legged tournament that's held yearly in different Asia regions, the Asia Rugby Championships for 15s, and also multi-sports games such as Asian Games and the SEA Games that's held every 4 years and 2 years. That included Sevens Rugby. And with that, the experience gained from my time as a player definitely shapes how I view the game as a referee. You're able to relate better to how the players are feeling or why they make certain decisions on the field. Yeah. So you consider this, rugby is a simple game with a 156-page law book. So my choice will always be to play the game to understand it. But that said, I did say at the start, passion was the most important and all others can be learned. So as long as you're willing to put yourself in a situation that challenges you, you will be able to make a good match official, regardless of your playing experience.
Well, since you mentioned, you were a player and you became a match official, is there a particular age, a good age to have that transition from player to match official?
You're trying to get me to reveal my age, right? I would say at the amateur level, most players, when they stop playing and wish to give back to the community, they coach and referee and, to stay involved. But if the aim is to stay involved, there's no particular age, right? Anytime you wish. But if you wish to referee the higher level games, the fitness requirements actually, they are no different from playing at the top level. So that's something to consider. My advice to all players out there, pick up refereeing. Volunteer for your local club, minis, age groups, as what Dilroy has mentioned. You don't have to stop playing. You can do both concurrently. There's always something to learn by putting yourself out there.
Talking about match officiating, and of course, like Dilroy mentioned just now, you need to go for courses level 1, level 2, level 3. Alhambra, right now, because there are a lot of limitations for people to organize courses, face-to-face courses for or training education consultants or coaches to cross borders. And World Rugby has come up with an online course. Can you enlighten us on that?
Yeah, of course. Well, we are all facing a very challenging and exceptional time. So, from a World Rugby point of view, we were very conscious from the very first minute that we need to adapt and react quickly. So, we just need to run things differently. But the important thing here is the opportunity that this situation brings for everyone. to create and extend a new platform and a new way to run education and training programs. So it's an opportunity to share information through all the regions with a consistent approach. So World Rugby reacts quite quickly, and we ran the High Performance Virtual Academy last year through all the regions, with the aim to build the capability and to connect the community at high performance level through an ongoing education program. So what currently we are doing with Asia Rugby is just we are running a match officiating training program with the aim to get best prepared for the moment that finger crossed is very soon, is very near, is happen very soon, that the referees from Asia Rugby panel will be back on the field. So we are running a 10 weeks program covering the key areas of the game, again, with the approach to have a consistent guidelines to apply the laws of the game consistently through all the regions. So we are focusing in key areas as breakdown, scrum, foul play, positioning, communication, not only around the law book, also in other important skills that as a referee we need to develop and to show on the field. So we are running one session per week. The sessions are more or less between 1 hour and 1 hour and a half. And more or less we are doing a first part of more technical, showing the guidelines and the principle of the laws, and then having also a space to have to review clips, to share, to discuss between groups. So everyone, the good thing and the thing that I'm really enjoying is how everyone is engaging, and all the input from the whole panel. We have a lot of people from different unions, so it's great to see how everyone is engaging and sharing their own thoughts. So I'm really enjoying the session, and I think it has been very successful.
The time I went for a match officiating a level 1 course was, I can't remember, probably 2009 or 2010, and that was face to face, and I thought it was quite compelling. It was quite practical, because I learned how to really, blow onto the whistle. There's a way on how you do it. So I learned face to face. So in terms of this online course, how effective is it, Alhambra?
Well, we can separate in two parts. One is the people who are just thinking, oh, maybe I try to be a referee, to become a referee. So I think it's a really good time to invest these strange times and start knowing the laws and doing some testing and start thinking what means to become a referee for the new people joining our team. And as I think Dilroy explained very well, the option that the online course offer for everyone now. So I will encourage everyone, just we are talking about give rugby a try, so give a refereeing a try, become a referee, and use this time to start this road doing these online courses. And then we have the second part around the more experienced referees, the high performance referees. So the effective of this session we will see once the referees are back on the field, and how this session and this training affects their own performance. So I'm pretty confident that keeping talking every week, watching clip, sharing ideas with other referees, reviewing key triggers and the process to make accurate decision, I think this will have a clear impact on the refereeing performance once they are back on the field. That we are just looking forward that everyone have this opportunity to be back as soon as possible on the field.
Okay, moving forward, talking about match officiating, Dilroy, what are the opportunities one can look forward to when they become a match official?
Okay, there are many opportunities. Now, see, this today it's another opportunity. People can see when we talk, and you become a superstar. Basically, it's sometimes when I go to in Sri Lanka, when I
Good
go
one.
to a restaurant or you go to a supermarket, they come and ask you sometimes. I've seen you somewhere. Is it? So sometimes I say I'm a movie actor. Sometimes I don't want to say, and then they say no, no, no. So basically, games are shown live on television in Sri Lanka. Also, there's live streaming of most of the games, and you become a known figure, known personality. And then also, I know lots of people. There were job opportunities if you have become a referee through rugby. I mean, if I'm to say, rugby is the most popular sport apart from cricket in Sri Lanka. If you take school rugby and club rugby, basically school rugby is more popular than any other sport apart from the national cricket team. So rugby is a very popular game, and so officiating in rugby games, top school games, you become automatically become popular, and you get to know people. Getting to know people is a big thing again, and also if you get into the Asia Rugby panel, overseas travel, all that, so you can meet different kind of people, different cultures, I mean, it's amazing, I've met so many thousands of people through my rugby football career as a referee or as a CMO, or I've traveled as referee manager. So great opportunities. And end of the day, with all these rod, I mean, exposure that you get, you'll be able to manage your affairs at workplace, if you're running a business or you're, so it helps, so through the opportunities, you can adapt it, and it will help you, it basically helps you lifetime, you'll be able to manage your family, you'll be able to manage your business or work, or whatever you do. So it's a great thing. Many opportunities. There's not only one, there are many opportunities if you're a rugby referee.
Dilroy, I must
Saying
point
that,
out that, yeah,
yeah,
only
please,
Mr.
please
Popular
continue.
if you referee a good job,
Well,
Yeah,
anyway, winning team will say good job. Losing team might say you didn't referee well, but you have another weekend. So basically, I've refereed for 20 odd years here, and I've never had big problem. I had small little problem, but never a major problem. And everybody's a friend. You go to supermarket, lots of people come and talk to you. Sometimes you get free vegetables or fruit. Sometimes you go to candy supermarket. I mean, Kandy is a rugby crazy city, and they give you free fruits and vegetables. The vendors at the supermarket. You
I think
see,
there's a
so
great spirit of rugby in Sri Lanka.
yeah.
Yeah.
well, saying that, I'm sure the audience, if you have any questions on probably opportunities, you can ask Dilroy here, or you can ask Alhambra or Christabelle on whatever opportunity or whatever questions you have in regards with give rugby a try, hashtag give rugby a try, becoming a match official, on probably the opportunities on becoming a match official. These guys are here to answer your question. And talking about getting these opportunities, so how does one, Christabel, how does one become part of the panel of referees for Asia Rugby?
Well, I think you have to um, sort of start refereeing at many different levels, get involved in many different areas of the game. It will help if you are hardworking, you take control of your fitness, your game planning. It's pretty similar to how you prepare for a game if you're a player and if you're a referee. The only difference is possibly you have to find your own team around you. You have to be more self-driven, approach your coach or coach of match officials, work together what you want to achieve, and work on your weaknesses. Just keep working on your weaknesses, and you know, uh, whether or not you get the opportunity, you have to believe in yourself and put yourself out there. And when the opportunity comes, grab it with both hands.
So, Christabel, talking about being a referee, right? So, what was your perception of the referees when you were a player and after you became a referee yourself?
So like all players, it's always the referee's fault, right? Being a referee helped me to see a different perspective. And crucially, I also understand the player's perspective, right? So I do know when, they seem to think it'll be my fault. I actually know that. And a lot about refereeing actually is not just what you see in the law book, is anticipating what might come. You know some things are going to happen and you manage it before that. So I'll just tell you a story of my last game. I played 15s, the local club game finals, and then the next day I was off to Roslyn Park in London, refereeing 5 days of quality games, the school games, and it was quite an immediate transition for me. I actually had a sore shoulder from refereeing from playing 15s, and then so when I was in London, I couldn't raise my hand fully. Nobody knew, but yeah. So it allowed me to run along the best at Singapore Sevens. I was the AR for Singapore Sevens, and I went to Kitakyushu in Japan. There's a lot of opportunities if you are willing to work hard and take them. And of course, what Dilroy said, the people you meet along the way, the whole community is really friendly, really, there's a whole spirit of rugby there. So anywhere you go, actually, you will be welcome. And that's what I really love, whether playing or refereeing. That's a really good thing.
Well, I think that's what rugby is about. Malaysia and Singapore has this friendly rivalry, but when it comes to rugby, we speak one language. I think it goes to all countries when we are rugby players, when we connect to each other, when it's rugby is a universal language. Moving along, talking about again opportunities. Probably Alhambra, you can talk about employment opportunities for match officials. Of course, we've heard about full-time referees and whatnot. Is there such thing?
Yeah, well, we have too many options. The first thing is we have too many options in the match officiating side. Of course, we need referees, but the match officiating side is not just having referees. So we need also performance reviewers, referee coaches, development manager, analysts. So as Christabelle just raised, we are a team, and the game is growing, and the game is getting more and more professional. So we also need this professionalism and this investment in the match official side. So this is why it's so important that we encourage people to get into refereeing, to be a referee coach, to start doing performance reviewers, to maybe become an analysis if you love the data and the stats. So if I can share my personal way, my background is I'm an IT engineer, so completely different from refereeing. But I decided because especially my goal was to go to the Olympics. I decided to focus on my refereeing career, and I focus on that. So at the end, after this process, and after I decided to retire in 2018, then I have the opportunity to step into the management team and to keep engaging with this match officiating side. As I said, it's not just about refereeing. So it's a lot of opportunities out there to stay connected with the game, to build a professional career, and to just try different things, different challenge, and keep enjoying that road. And the other part that I think Dilroy already touched is, of course, from the very first beginning, I think a very few people see the refereeing as a professional full-time career because it's difficult, it's challenging. But I think what attracts us a lot around the match officiating is to have the opportunity to travel around the world if you are doing really well and you get some opportunities in your national domestic competition, then in your region, and then in stepping into the international level. So you have the opportunity to travel around the world, to discover new cultures, to make friends, and to have a lot of positive in your own personal life growth. So again, we are a team. We need to invest more in our match officiating structure and to create these new professional and professional opportunities in all the roles that we need in the match official team.
Talking about your experiences in the Olympics, how was the experience of match officiating in the Olympics? Was it great? Can you tell us your experience?
Well, this was just a dream come true. I imagine myself since I was a little girl. I always love sport, and I just see everything on the TV when the games and the Olympic Games ones on during the summer. So it was a dream for me. And of course, when you are a little girl, you dream being there as an athlete. But to end in an Olympic Games and as a match official was just great, amazing. Christabelle also touched the point that as a referees, we prepare ourselves very similar as a player. We need to be fit. We need to know the game, to have a mental strength, to have this decision making under pressure. So it was great. It was a great challenge. I never regret to focus on my refereeing, and to be at the Olympic was just a great experience. It's very difficult to express with words. It was great experience.
It must be a dream come true for you and for the other match officials and probably the other players as well who were playing in the Olympics 2016. And I think we can take a Facebook question, and this is from the president himself, the president of Asia Rugby, Mr. Kais Abdullah Al Dalai. This is to Dilroy. Dilroy, under pressure a bit. You as a match official redirect a try dispute to the TMO. You will favor the TMO advice and you will listen to the advice, then set your own judgment. If you will listen to the TMO, then make your own judgment. Do you believe the existence of TMOs is essential to the sport of rugby in these modern days?
Okay, my answer to that is, if you take Sri Lanka, we have had experience. We have had TMOs in certain games. When the TMO is not that experienced, you can't 100% depend on the TMO's call. So sometimes, on-field, as an on-field referee, you basically know what the decision should be. But if you call for TMO decision and assistance from TMO, if he gives you a wrong thing, then what happens is there could be an issue like the President of Asia Rugby says. But if you have a qualified, knowledgeable TMO, then of course it is helpful. So especially if you take sevens rugby, touch and go in goal decision, whether try knock forward or touchdown or not. I think a situation like that, TMO would definitely be helpful. And also for foul play incidents. If you miss a foul play, you have the two assistant referees, but then TMO could always have a look at the screen and he can always, get back to you. So my answer to that, the question is yes and no. Sometimes it could be very helpful. Sometimes it could be confusing, because if he is not knowledgeable, if he is not, sometimes if the answer is not accurate, then it could be misleading and it could mislead the decision that the referee, on-field referee, is going to make.
So basically, the on-field referee needs
If I
to
can I
filter.
jump in? Sorry.
Yes, please.
So I think Dilroy expressed very well. I think the TMO resource, the technology is I think is a great support for the referee, and especially touching the point around the foul play. So I think it's important that we keep encouraged to using the TMO resource. The referee on the middle is always the leader of the team, so the final call will be made by the referee. But it's important that between the team of four challenge to make the right decision. And the key thing here is the process that the team of four is using is the process that they are following, and then the communication, how we express the facts that happen, and because of these facts, and then if it's any around the foul play, the degree of danger. So this will lead the team of four having this accurate and concrete communication to end in the right outcome.
So there you go, two different views. But I guess like you guys mentioned just now. So it all depends on the decision of the on-field referee to make the right decision, to make the right call, to ensure that if the TMO is not that experienced to make that call, probably he needs to make that call. So I guess being a referee, you are under pressure, but at the same time you need to be smart about making your choices, your decisions at the end of the day. And there's another Facebook question, and probably this is for Christabelle. Okay, let's ask Christabelle. What is your best refereeing memory? From Mary Pringle.
Well, best refereeing memory.
Too many.
There's so many. But I think one of the most interesting places I went would be so after Kitakyushu, I spent a week in Japan, and then I refereed at the Sonic 7. So the cumulative experience of the whole week in Japan with the wonderful Japanese hospitality, I think that sealed the experience for me. The refereeing there was wonderful. All the teams, all the players, they were very respectful, very skillful. It made refereeing so much easier. And I think that was one of my first few tours, so I actually really learned a lot from there. Yeah.
And talking about refereeing, till what level do you want to achieve your refereeing or match officiating career?
Yeah, that's a valid question. Definitely as far as I can go, right? But some things won't be in my control. What I can do is control my attitude, my the work I put towards attaining that goal, and see where it takes me.
Probably Olympics or the World Cup.
A girl can dream.
Okay, saying
Yeah,
that.
if I can again jump in, I think
yes, of course.
it's no end for her. So if we see now the number of female match official, not just refereeing at top women's competition, also in the men's top competition, we have several examples now. Amy Perret from Australia, that very recently referee a Super Rugby game. Amy Barrett from South Africa, the same. Then we have Joy Neville, Sarah Cox, Holly Davison doing the same in the European competition. Joy just has been involved as a TMO during the men's last round of the Six Nations. So I think now we have seen that we have more and more opportunities for female match official, and not only, as I said, in the women's game. So I think, Christabelle, you can, as soon as much you are work hard, you have the skills, and you believe in yourself, you can do whatever you want.
So Alhambra, was that you giving the yellow cards?
Yeah, I used to referee. Yeah, I look older now, but I used to referee. Yeah.
So okay, of course, the matches that you were refereeing, it was world level. So to lash out the yellow card, I think that's quite a big decision. So what is your thought process into taking out the yellow card?
Well, most of the time, to be honest, at the high performance levels, player already know when you are going to show a card. So for most of the times it's quite easy, because they understand what is happening, and if they make any cynical infringement, or if it's any foul play, dangerous action, the players have the knowledge and the awareness of what is happening next. So it's probably more challenging or more difficult to referee or to have this big decision at lower level, when the players don't understand what is happening and why it's happening. So you need to make sure that you have the right process and you have the right communication to the players to make sure that they understand why you make that decision.
So basically, the thought process of lashing out a yellow card, taking out a yellow card is basically understandable by all sides. And taking back to probably the TMO decision just now, do you refer to TMOs before you take out the cards?
You don't have to. If you have your clear decision, you don't have to refer to the TMO. It's just if there's any doubt, specifically around the foul play, if you don't see a clear action and then you have the resource, of course you can use it. But if you have a clear picture of what happened, the facts, and again you follow the process, you can end with a decision without using the TMO. It's not. We don't need to use 100% of the time if we need to show a card.
I have one question which I will reserve at the end of the show. That is for Dilroy and Alhambra. Okay, let's move on. There's another Facebook question by our probably our star follower. He always follows the show by Mafizul Islam. Mafizul, question to Dilroy. Which is tougher, sevens or 15s for you, as in to match to referee?
To me, my personal experience, to me, it's same, I mean, whether you are refereeing sevens or 15, it doesn't matter. All, again, what matters is the management, how you manage the game in the middle, and how you look at the game, it's immaterial, whether it's sevens or 15s. Again, coming back to the opportunities, one other thing is, Rod, even as an Asian match official, but we must understand the opportunities we have to officiate in the big stage, on the big stage. So you have the Dubai Sevens, and which is the World Seven Series event, and also you have the Hong Kong Sevens, again, Asia, it's happening in Asia, World Seven Series event, and then the Commonwealth Games. So we have had Asians getting involved, also the World Seven Series, the World Cup finals in Dubai Sevens. So we have had Asians officiating. So the opportunities, again, as an Asian referees, you can be on the big stage, like Alhambra said, her dream was to officiate at the Olympics. I also had a dream of officiating at the Asian Games or the Commonwealth Games, which I did in both. So as an Asian referee, somebody who wants to become a referee, the sky is the limit. You can definitely, take up to the whistle, give rugby a try, take to the whistle. I'm sure with commitment you can reach levels, height levels.
There you go. There you go. Another Facebook question by Ron Jr. Probably I will ask this question to, let me see. This is for Christabelle. Okay, how can I carry my referee interest when my country has not a lot of games and maybe we have less support in the sport from our government? How can I move forward with my interest of being a match official? Thanks in advance.
I think it's a great spirit for him to put out that question. And now most of the Asian countries do not have a lot of games. In Singapore, we don't have any games at the moment. How I suggest you can keep up your interest is you can watch the games on the show. You can watch some of the Asian series games. You can watch some of the Six Nations that are ongoing right now. And if you really want a bit of, test yourself as a referee, look at it once and, make a decision, or you can stand in front. Some practice that we do, watch a video and you stand in front and you practice. That will help the interest. And what other things you can do? Well, find your local club, I would say. Yeah, there's no rugby without the players. So find your local club, volunteer with them, coach a minis team, young rugby age group. There's always ways to get yourself involved in the various levels.
You're always on the mark. Not bad, Not bad. Always on the mark. Anyway, last question from Facebook, again from the president, Mr. Kais Abdullah Al-Dalai, to Alhambra. You as a representative of World Rugby, do you believe that a sevens excellent referee should be an excellent 15th referee and vice versa? If your answer is no, then it means World Rugby will always differentiate between 7s match officials and 15s match officials.
I think we have several examples that you can do both 7 and 15s, and you just need to do this probably mental transition work when you are refereeing a 7s competition, and then you have straight out the following weekend a 15 game. But we have several examples. Probably the challenge here is if you the amount of competition, if you are doing both, could be too much in terms of workload. So this is why I think most of the referees at some point choose one way or the other, because to do both could be quite challenging instead of, again, workload, and you cannot be in two places at the same time, if this makes sense. So I don't see any problem to do a 7th and a 5th careers at the same time. I personally have done. I have been involved in both World Series, Rugby World Cup, Six Nations. So I think it's nothing against that. I think if you are a referee, you referee the game. I think between the 7 and 15, you have different challenge. You need to prepare a little bit different for both competition, but anything can stop for doing both and to do a 7th and a 50 career at the same time.
I think, Rod, if I may add to what
Yes.
Alhambra said now, I've seen when we were running Touch in the World 7 series, we have had people like Jonathan Kaplan or Wayne Barnes, Nigel Owens. They started first with the 7th circuit and they became top 15s referees, So they were put into the deep end with the 7s, and with the exposure they got to the 7s, they became top 15s referees. Alhambra, isn't that right?
Yeah. Is that right? This happened especially probably around the men's competition again, because the amount of top competition is higher at the moment. Hopefully the women's competition we have more and more opportunities now. But yeah, it's the normal process. So a lot of referees start doing the top 7th World Series event, and then they move into the 15th side.
I guess it's something like players as well, because some players they rise up through the 7th rank, then only they became 15th players. There's a lot of players that we can point out. One of them is the late Jonah Lomu, who he was a star in 7th and also 15th, so he can play both codes of the game. So I think it all depends on opportunity that comes as well, and probably the other thing is fitness level on how that referee can catch up to. But I guess nowadays referees like Christabelle are very, very fit to to ref the game in the 7s and 15s. I have a last question, and this question is probably will I don't know, will probably open your minds. So Dilroy, this is to Dilroy and Alhambra. Okay, Dilroy first. Do you think, Dilroy, that one day a woman referee can ref a men's game at the highest level, at the World Cup, let's say?
My frank opinion is, why not? Whether it doesn't matter whether it's male or female. If you are good, that person should be given the opportunity of refereeing. And if that person has performed, proved, why not? It doesn't matter.
Alhambra, is there a plan by World Rugby to do that at the highest level?
Of course, I think Dilroy expressed very well. Nothing. I think to referee at certain level is not about the gender. It's about your performance, your skills, and at the end of the day, if you are good enough, you are good enough. That doesn't matter if you are a woman or a male referee. So, of course, World Rugby have a clear picture of what we need to drive, of how we need to drive that road to make sure that we open these opportunities and we create these opportunities to ensure that if a female match official is good enough, have this opportunity to referee at the top level in both women's and men's competition. So I have no doubt that we will see one day, hopefully not sooner than longer, we will see a female match official involved in a men's Rugby World Cup.
There you go, guys. Rugby is a game for men's and women's. That was the closing. That was the conclusion. So you guys give rugby a try. Become a match official at least. If you are retiring from rugby, the next step probably is becoming a coach or becoming a match official. You never know. Get involved with the game. Continue to get involved with the game. We need people out there. We need volunteers. We need people to get involved with the game. To continue uh, uh, to get involved with the game as a volunteer, as whatever, as long as you get involved with the game. Anyway, guys,
Rod,
thank you
also,
very
Rod,
much. Thank you very much,
Rod,
Dilroy. Thank you very much. Yeah, yes, Dilroy.
to add on to what you said, okay, once you become a match official like myself, I was a match official. Now, after that, you can become CMO, performance reviewer. It's easier for you to become a sighting commissioner because you know exactly, and also match commissioner. Apart
There
from
you go.
refereeing, match commissioner, because you know the laws very well, so it's easy for you to be a match commissioner or the tournament director. All that helps if you have been a referee. So many opportunities you have as a match official. And Asia
Rugby.
rugby, and within Asia, rugby is growing in Asia. 35 countries are playing now. And so I've traveled, myself I've traveled over 22 countries in Asia, 22, 24 countries as a referee or referee manager or CMO. So imagine, somebody else coming on board. Everybody can do that. So there are opportunities, huge opportunities.
Rugby for life till die, just like our late Mr. Maniam Krishnan,
Money, yeah.
who became a CMO until the day that he died a few days ago. So you know, again, there's a lot of opportunities for people out there. For you guys, please get involved with rugby as a player, as a match official, as whatever, as a volunteer. We need people out there. We need fans. We need people to get involved with rugby. Again, like I said just now, thank you very much to Dilroy, Christabelle, Alhambra. Thank you very much for sharing, for enlightening us on your thoughts on becoming a match official. And to you guys out there, especially to the people who are celebrating Chinese New Year, happy Chinese New Year, Kong Hei Fa Choi, Kong Si Fa Chai, and enjoy your big dinner tonight and obviously tomorrow. Especially Christabelle, Kong Hei Fa Choi. You obviously, I think you are having your big dinner tonight. Enjoy and hopefully I can see you guys soon. Take care and see you guys next week on Asia Rugby Live.